The Austin, Texas housing market is in big trouble. For example, the amount of houses for sale in Austin, Texas just increased to a 7-year high, and home prices are already decreasing. On top of that, the share price reductions in Austin, Texas is at least a 5-year high during the same time frame. I have a lot to share in today's video. Let's go ahead and dive right in. There are several sources I want to share in today's video. I'll provide a link in the video description below for that. But this first report is actually from ResiClub.com. They identified 5 housing markets where inventory has been increasing the most out of about 150 metros. So the number 3 spot for the biggest increases of inventory is the greater Austin area, up by 26% compared to 5 years ago, back in April of 2019, obviously pre-COVID levels. On a national level, inventory is down by double digits compared to 5 years ago, whereas Austin, Texas up by 26%. Also increasing by 24% from 1 year ago. In regards to home prices, it fell already by 4.1% year over year, and also it's down by 19.5% compared to the peak of 2022. Here's a chart showing inventory levels on a national level. I want to compare what's happening on a national level compared to what's happening in Austin. So on a national level, this April, there's around 734,000 existing houses for sale, approximately 30% below pre-COVID levels, when we should be having around 1.1 to around 1.2 million houses for sale. And of course, we have higher levels of inventory compared to the past several years, but way lower compared to 17 through 2019. Now look at Austin, Texas, though. This is night and day difference here. The Austin or the greater Austin area, look at this, 8,897 houses for sale. This is the highest amount of houses for sale during any month since at least January of 2017. So for example, compared to April 2017, there's approximately 2,000 more houses for sale by the end of this April. That represents a 32% increase compared to April 2017. They also have approximately 7,000 more compared to 2021 and 2022. But really caught my attention is that this big increase over the past 2 months here. Look at January, or March, I should say, 7,500, then increased to nearly 9,000. Looking at 2022, that's of course when the housing market corrected big time. Look at the small increases. So we went from March around 1,700 or 1,600 houses for sale, then 2,000. Look at this though, March 7,500 to 9,000, big increases of inventory over the past 2 months. And also the highest levels for any month, which is absolutely astonishing given the fact that inventory tends to peak in the late summer months and not in April, right? Absolutely crazy. Now here's another way to look at this. Here's a look at inventory in Austin compared to the US as a whole. So the greater Austin area, regarding the amount of houses for sale, this is for existing houses, by the way. Look at this, 2-year change up by 342% compared to the national average, only increase of 93%. The 3-year change, I mean, just absolutely crazy, 422% compared to 69% on a national level. 4 years, down 22% nationally, but up 46%. 5 years, down 35% overall. This is April 2019 compared to April this year, down by 35%, whereas in Austin, Texas, increasing by 26%. It's not just Austin, Texas, but San Antonio as well. San Antonio, Texas, up by a whopping 244% from 2 years ago, 279% from 3 years ago. Also, they have more houses for sale right now compared to pre-COVID levels, up by 15%. Compared to what we should be seeing, down by 35%. Now, one of the reasons why we're seeing more houses for sale in Austin, Texas is due to this right here. New listings absolutely surging. So I actually pulled this from Lance Lambert's inventory tracker. You have to be a ResiClub Pro member to have access to this, but it's a fantastic website if you guys want to look at housing market trends on a national level and also at the metro level as well, or the statewide level. Anyways, one of the reasons why we're seeing this giant surge of inventory is because we're seeing a giant surge of new listings. So here's a look at the US as a whole. The 5-year change, it should be down by 22%. The greater Austin area up by over 13%. 4 years up by 23% overall on a national level, but in Austin up by double that at about 44%. Also on a national level compared to 3 years ago and 2 years ago, we should be down by about 12 to 13%, but Austin, Texas up by 20% from 2 years ago, up by 28% from 3 years ago back in April of 2021. Also, the 1-year change, which is this right here, is basically triple the national average. The national average up by 12%. In Austin, Texas, up by 36%. Also, something I actually just noticed, look at this, 1 month change, it's up a whopping 20% in one single month. National average only up by 9%. I want to share a lot more trends in today's video. Let's first have a look at what's going on regarding home prices in Austin, Texas. This again is according to ResiClub.com, which covers the most recent month, March 2024. So compared to February on a national level, we're up by 1.1%, exactly the same in Austin, Texas. Fairly similar trends regarding year-to-date trends so far this year. But here's where it gets really spicy. Year over year, on a national level, up by 4.6%. This is March 2023 compared to March 2024. Austin, Texas, down 4.1. Compared to the peak of 2022, home prices overall are up by 0.2%. So 0.2% higher compared to the peak of 2022, whereas in Austin, down 19.5%. Now, what really caught my attention is, of course, this difference between the peak, but also this right here. Since March of 2020, overall in the US, we're up by 41.3%. Austin, Texas, not too far off, down by 38.8%. So even though they're down by nearly 20% from about 2 years ago, they're still up by 38.8% over the past 4 years. Let's also discuss the share of price drops as well, according to altosresearch.com. Right now, that share is at 48%, just under 48%. This is much higher compared to the national average. On a national level, the share price drops at 33%, which means that approximately 1/3 of all the houses for sale right now have reduced their asking prices, whereas in Austin, Texas, it's approaching 50%. This is also at least a 5-year high during the same time frame, because right now at 48%, higher than last year at 45%, higher than 2022 at 22%, 21 at 16.5%, 2020 at about 29%, and also in mid-May 2019 at 37%. So I'm actually really curious to see what happened in Austin, Texas this year, because in 2020, the share price drops absolutely skyrocketed. The trough was back in March 11th at around 12%. And by the time we hit the end of September at 64%. So it's pretty crazy to see that we're at at least a 5-year high right now. But we're basically at the early stage of this increase of the share price drops that we should be seeing. But again, very elevated levels right now. And also, just like ResiClub.com, altosresearch.com is also reporting that inventory is at least a 5-year high as well. Approximately 2,811 houses for sale. This is higher compared to the 2,100 from a year ago, but at what was this, 2,800? This is much higher compared to 2022, 758. Also at 2,800 right now. This is higher compared to pre-pandemic levels at around 2,000 houses for sale. All right, let's also have a look at data from Redfin as well. A lot of metrics I want to share in today's video. Now, this is absolutely wild. I want to explain the difference between supply and demand in Austin, Texas. So new listings, according to Redfin, at least a 3-year high during the same time frame, but up by 13.1% year over year. It has been at least a 3-year high during the same time frame, going back to basically February this year. So new listings, a measure of people listing their houses for sale, up by 13%. Let's have a look at the demand side, contracts being signed. New listings up by 13%, whereas pending home sales down by 6.1%. So new listings, at least a 3-year high during the same time frame, whereas exactly the opposite on the demand side, at least a 3-year low as well. So new supply far outpacing contracts being signed right now. Let's also take a look at inventory according to Redfin for the 4 weeks ended May 5th, at least a 3-year high as well, and also up by 13% year over year. What's also absolutely insane about this is that this is in May. We should be seeing a peak of inventory levels in the late summer months, maybe even the early fall months. But right now at 12,413 active listings in Austin, Texas, this is very close to at least a 3-year high for any time period. The peak was in 2022 when there's approximately 12,000 or just under 12,500 houses for sale. Now there's approaching that at 12,413. I wouldn't be surprised to see at least a 3-year high regarding inventory levels according to data from Redfin in the next coming weeks. And again, when looking at data from ResiClub.com for the month of April, we're at least a 7-year high, the highest levels for any month since at least January of 2017. In regards to the median sale price, it's very close to a 3-year low as well. So the median sold price for the 4 weeks ended May 5th, according to Redfin, $469,000, a small increase of 1% on a year-over-year basis. Looking at 2021 though, we're around $462,000 to approximately $467,000. So very close to a 3-year low regarding the median sold price in Austin, Texas. We're also way below levels in 2022, right now at $469,000. At this time in 2022, we're at approximately $571,000. This means the median sale price has gone down by approximately $100,000 over the past 2 years alone. One last chart I want to share with you guys according to Redfin. I really wish they provide levels looking at 2019, but the earliest year is 2021. But this provides some context though. So the average sale price to final list price ratio is at 98%. This is a lag indicator, what the housing market was like approximately 1 or 2 months ago when the home buyer got their offer accepted. But in any case, at 98%, this means on average, for the houses that did sell, they sold for 2% less than the seller's final list price. Just for fun, I know it's not an accurate depiction of the market because, you know, we had 2021, we had 3% rates. Now we have 7+% rates. But just looking for a comparison, look at this, 98% right now. At this time in 2021 was more or less the peak at around 110%. So back then, houses were selling for about 10% over the seller's asking price. Now they're selling for about 2% below. Now, something I have not mentioned in today's video just yet is new houses for sale. There's a lot of building going on in Austin, Texas. Just go to newhomesource.com and just search for Austin, Texas. I'm only looking at single family houses. So in the greater Austin area, there's 474 communities being built right now. And out of those communities, a whopping 6,248 new houses for sale. And a lot of these houses are taking price cuts as well. This one, price cut of $25,000, $40,000 for this one. I can't believe $441,000 for a 2,500 square foot home. I mean, that's inexpensive in my area, but down $40,000 from the previous asking price. We also have price decreases down 50% here, or sorry, $50,000, and also down by $15,000 for that house. Yet another challenge that's facing the housing market in Austin, Texas is Tesla layoffs. It was announced approximately 2 weeks ago that the company plans to cut nearly 2,700 workers in Austin, Texas as well. So I'd love hearing from you guys. What do you guys think about today's video? Also, if you guys have any boots on the ground experience regarding what's happening in Austin, Texas, please leave me a comment below with your thoughts regarding what's happening there. But this giant increase of new listings, price reductions, and housing inventory is something you guys should definitely be aware of. If you guys got any value out of today's video, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Of course, I appreciate you. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.